Hello, hello, and welcome to Saturday Soundbites. I'm your host, Veronica Sofer. I'm thrilled to be here with you because here on Saturday Soundbites, we talk about all the things I love. Visibility strategy. We talk about branding, marketing, advertising, public relations, and all the resources and tools you need to get seen by the people you want to be seen by, especially if you are launching a new business or a new project, if you're in the nonprofit space, if you have a brick and mortar business. All of those spaces still need you to be paying attention to your visibility strategy and stay on brand. So here on Saturday Soundbites, I bring you phenomenal guests that'll bring you resources and tools you need to make all that happen. So I'm going to bring on my guest in just a moment. But before we get started, let's take care of some housekeeping. If you are listening on the podcast, make sure you hit subscribe. We don't want you to miss any episodes of Saturday Soundbites. And if you are watching on Facebook or on YouTube, drop us some comments and my guest and I will be sure to connect with you, circle back with any questions you might have, and make sure that we know that we are addressing all the concerns and questions you have. So that's real important to us here on Saturday Soundbites. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I have a great guest today. I'm going to bring her on right now. We have the amazing Aashna Makin joining us. Hello and welcome, Aashna.
Hi.
So glad to have you here with us. Superads is your business, and of course, we're going to be talking about lead generation here on this episode. We're going to be talking about how to get those leads with paid ads because we all know that advertising supports your marketing, which supports your public relations, and public relations supports the advertising. So it all is a circle that helps you get your visibility out there. And Aashna, you're an expert in the advertising space. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I have been into paid ads. Like I've been a digital marketer specializing in Google and Facebook ads for the past 5 years now. I've been working with 150 different business niches, local service-based business, some e-commerce business here in North America. And what I have learned so far in looking at marketing overall, not just doing paid ads. When it comes to paid ads, there is something much more bigger to solve. It's your landing page, it's your offer, it's beginning with, is your funnel, is are you sending your traffic from the paid ads to the right funnel, to the right copy, to the right offer. So this has been my journey so far since the past 5 years. It's been high quality lead generation, and not just getting traffic and impressions and landing page views. So I'm very surprised when people are running those kind of campaigns, because there's nothing that you can actually attribute your ROI back to when you run like a likes campaign or like a brand awareness campaign. So I am not saying that is not needed, that is needed, but you should be running different campaign objectives for that. As I mentioned, funnel. So you should be categorizing these different campaign types, but as like today we are discussing about lead generation. So I think if there's anything that you are putting your money towards, and a lot of ad spend budget towards these platforms, if anything you should invest is in actually lead generation, wherein
Absolutely.
customers can contact you, they can uh, you know schedule a consultation with you. So basically whatever action you like them to take. So that's
Mhm.
about that's what I have been doing since the past 5 years, running lead generation campaigns day in and day out.
That's amazing. And how did you get in? How did you decide? Okay, lead generation campaigns. That's where I'm going to be. What got you to that spot? Because it's fascinating to me as a digital content person. I know there's a lot of different aspects of it, but you found such a niche in lead generation. What got you there?
So as I mentioned, like I had started my career working with different agencies, wherein I got an exposure to work with all these different business niches that we spoke about. So, and as I mentioned, what I like doing is doing a task, or taking up a challenge which I know I can see direct results with. So if I'm
Yeah.
running a lead generation campaign right now with Facebook, it's even much more easier to start getting leads. Like leads start coming the same hour or the same day that you set up a campaign. So that brings me happiness, that all the effort that I've put strategizing a campaign, putting all the elements into one place, has finally got that actual conversion, that actual value to the business, which can help them generate sales. So that's the spot that I always decided to, because what really makes me happy is just on numbers, and CPA, CPC, CTR, all those are just noise. Those are very important, but those are important for technical parts of thing. But
Right.
the actual impact that it creates on businesses, that is something that really gives me the actual satisfaction, wherein I get
Yeah.
feedback from the clients, I get feedback from the sales team that, oh, these leads are good, they're converting, they're actually generating revenue from that. So that's why I chose lead generation as a specific niche when it comes to paid advertising.
Well, it's definitely needed, and I can tell because your face lit up and your body changed and you were just really excited. So I can definitely tell that you're passionate about the lead generation part. And I think you're right because you very clearly talked about the strategy that's involved, and you just can't throw anything to the wind and see if it's gonna work or not. I mean, it requires a lot of strategy, pre-thought, all those things that you talked about. So when you're working with a client or a sales team, give us some tips. Give us some, what can I do right now if I'm going to start thinking about lead generation and I am new to this space? How do you even get that started?
Yes. So the first thing that I would say, and it's like a myth, and that's a question that I keep, coming across a lot of time in these Facebook groups, and people that I speak to, business owners, is people have a notion that you have to have a big ad budget to start running your ads. Okay, which is not true. If today you and I, being new to the space, have to start strategizing our ads, in the past 5 years, I've run ads as low as $200 $300 a month also. Like, I have managed bigger accounts, man, like $1 million in ad spend in a month also. But I have also run profitable campaigns which have spent just $5 $10 a day. So my first tip to anybody getting new into ad space is, start small and you can always scale.
Mhm.
You do not have to start with 100 $200 a day, because when you're starting new, you're trying to figure out a lot of things. Firstly, learning, getting comfortable with the ads platform. Okay, it's not as easy as just clicking buttons and getting it going. There are a lot of things that you need to learn within the ads platform also. So you do not want to spend 400 $500 in a week just to figure out that sweet spot for you. So the one tip is, really start small. You can quickly scale, you can keep increasing your budget when you see conversions and results. Second thing that I would suggest when starting up with the campaign is, have a very focused targeting. Speak to a very focused audience. For example, you could be an immigration consultant which offers so many services, like student services, tourist visa, permanent residency services. But at a moment, you should pick that one profitable focus, one profitable niche, which is going to give you the maximum ROI. And then start figuring about the other niches and services within your business. So
Mhm.
again, the second thing that I think people do wrong is, they run a very generic kind of a campaign, wherein any and everybody is going to the same website, is getting the same information. However, people are so different. When you
Yeah.
categorize into each and every segment, people are so different. For example, when we are doing this podcast right now, there are some people who are very new to personal branding. There are some people who are who are just starting out. They're fresh graduates from college. All they know about is getting network on LinkedIn. So probably they
Right,
are
right.
not. They're not tech savvy enough into the personal branding space. So I cannot be speaking to them the same language to someone who has like 4 or 5 years of experience into the corporate world. So that's a second thing that I would like to do is, it's a lot of work, as I mentioned in the beginning of this recording, is strategizing ads, running ad campaigns is a lot of work. Now when we're talking about audience specific campaigns, which means you require different landing pages, you require different conversion copy for all these different services that you are offering. So it's a lot of work, but it will pay off in the end. There's no point just burning money and sending everybody to the same website. Try and put some time strategizing it, have a proper funnel in place before you even start running your ads.
Mhm. No, that's really great advice. And I love that you said you don't have to have a lot of money to start running a campaign. And so you said you do have to have a funnel in place. What are the other things you have to have in place before you start running ads? Because I think you're right. People new to this space, they log on and they see that there's buttons that they can click and all they have to do is upload their credit card information. But what do you recommend people have in place before they start purchasing those
Yes. So,
ads?
one thing, because of so many technical updates that keep on happening, like Facebook iOS is a big thing. Everybody's speaking about this, and that will keep continuing to happen. Okay. But what you need to do is, before you run ads, is check your tracking is in place. It sounds so basic right now. Whatever we are talking sounds very basic or something you can find online. But I mean, believe me, there are so many ads that I see daily wherein tracking is not set properly, or where all these basic hygiene points are not like the website is on mobile friendly. The load speed, your website landing page loading time is, I mean, it's not even passing the basic parameters or the Google speed test. That's where I generally test my websites before launching the campaigns. So you need to have the tracking in place. So when we talk about lead generation, that is a conversion campaign on Facebook or Google or any of the paid platform, you need to have tracking codes and pixels in place. You need to see that your conversion code and events are firing properly, and
Mhm.
then you need to get it going. The second thing that I always see people doing is directly leaving things up to automation is a very good thing. Okay. It really helps when you're trying to scale. But my first piece of advice is, when you're doing your first campaign, try to have manual bidding, manual placements into the campaign, because you're running your campaigns for the first time. So you cannot leave everything on that automation. Okay. Because the automation is going to burn out the most of the money trying to figure out. So it's an algorithm which is trying to figure out the right kind of settings for your campaign. So initially, for 2-3 weeks, run your campaigns manually. So there's something known as manual bidding, there's something known as manual placements in Facebook, where you decide where do you want to show your ads. You can write your basic ad copies. You can give 5 to 10 ad copy options to Facebook, and then the automation can figure it out. Then the platform can figure out which is a high converting ad copy, or where people are converting much better at a lower CPA. But have all that kind of automation only when you are like 2-3 weeks into the campaign. You figured out if your targeting is right, if your audience ad set that you found. I mean, today, even 5 years down, being into paid ads, there is no single day that I can be right that, oh, this exactly is going to work for the campaign when I'm doing it for the first time. Because, like, be it the same niche, every advertiser is so different. Some people come
Right.
to me for ads when they do not even have their Facebook page created. Okay. Some come to me when they have a decent, strong social presence. So when you're running ads for these two kind of business, even if they are in the same niche, your strategies change. Because
Ah, very good.
one has a good amount of social proof, one has a good amount of authority and trust in the market, while the other one is digitally not that active right now.
Mhm.
So try to begin with manual strategies in the beginning, and you can of course go to automation as you scale.
Yeah. No, that makes complete sense. And do you think that's also true for all the platforms? I mean, do you feel like LinkedIn, and Facebook and Google, do you feel like generally those strategies are going to be the same, or do you have to?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. All these strategies are platform agnostic. Since you brought about LinkedIn, so LinkedIn generally is a expensive so anybody listening this and new to paid ads, so like getting traffic from Facebook is much cheaper. It's a direct logic, because you're getting the top of funnel and middle of funnel traffic. People are not actively looking for ads on social. You could be running remarketing, retargeting, even prospecting campaigns, but you need to give those leads a little more time to convert, rather than bottom of funnel traffic on Google, which is like ready to buy traffic is
Right.
available on Google. So LinkedIn is expensive. You need to have at least some amount of daily budget to begin with, which is I'm not sure, I think it's somewhere around $400 to $500. I'm not sure, because these peer platform keep keep on updating their policies. But LinkedIn is overall expensive, of course, because it's mostly B2B. So that's the question. But all these strategies are going. So only the interface. That you brought this point, when I was learning Google Ads like 5 years back, when I was learning it, my trainer had told me, so it's like Google is like the elephant in the room. Once you learn to tame the elephant, all the other things become a lot easier. So learning, once you master Google and Facebook ads, going to other platforms like Pinterest, Twitter, all these things become little easy. The strategies remain the same, only the interface changes.
Mhm. Yeah, that makes complete sense. And so what is the difference when you talk about high converting content and copy? What are the differences that you're looking for as a digital ad support when someone's coming to you? What are you looking for? Say I'm interested in starting ads and I've got a funnel in place. What do you need from me to make sure that my ads and my campaigns are successful?
Understanding of the audience. I feel that I have
Mm.
nailed a campaign only when I know the customer or audience better than the client itself. So I will myself run a research, which I cover in my training program that I offer. So I myself conduct a research. I go to these various platforms to research about. There are of course basic platforms like Answer the Public, SEMrush, BuzzSumo, wherein you get to know a lot about the topics that are, or the content that is, trending in
Mhm.
that particular niche and space. But you need to nail the. So I like to write copy, or I expect the copy that is talking to one person at a time. When I'm reading a copy on the landing page, it should be like it's talking to me. It's written for me. It should enter the conversation that's happening in the prospect's mind. So one thing I definitely expect is, and I mean, honestly, working with so many different advertisers across the different locations, the only input that I get from client and I expect is the basic demographic details, like, oh, they are from this age to that age, and they speak this language, these people are here. So basic targeting is what I always get from the clients, and then you have to build your own content, build your own copy around it. And it's very rare that clients directly come with a highly converting landing page or a very well designed funnel, unless they've worked with some agency or some freelancer before,
Sure.
which has
Yeah.
really not happened. Like, people come to me very raw, very basic, and I enjoying coaching them, training them, and taking them from point zero to point 20 or wherever they want to be.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Well, before we share with people how they can work with you and connect in some of your programs, give us one of your most exciting success stories. Tell us about a unique client that you had that really just made something happen for you.
So this I would say is the immigration space. So I moved to Toronto just a year back on student visa. I would say coincidentally, when I was doing my entire process, I was doing this immigration thing. I was working with an immigration firm for around 6 7 months before moving to Canada. So what suddenly happened is, now I became that ideal target audience. It was so easy for me to write the copy now because I had been through that entire process. So going back to actually one of the tips that I want to share when people are starting their first campaign, and this is more towards the client or the business owner who's actually spending money, is ensure that the marketing team and the sales team talk to each other. The one thing
Mhm.
that I always do in my lead generation campaigns is take feedback from the sales team, connect with them once in a week, connect with the client once in a week, and know what are the feeling about the leads. Are the leads relevant? Are the leads, like, are they not so qualified? Then there are different steps that you can get in only qualified leads, but which can come to, like, you can come to that spot only when you know there is a problem with the lead. So ensure that you pass on a good amount of feedback to the freelancer or anybody you're working with for your paid ads, so that they get a feedback and they can optimize your campaign well. So an advice going back to what we were discussing previously. Now, coming back to my successful campaign, yes. So 6 months, those 5 to 6 months, I was living. I was the audience. It's very easy, as I mentioned about audience research. It's very easy to put in copies, to put in ad copy. I would ask myself, would I click on this? Would I book a consultation with them? Would I go through them? What are their USPs? Are they fitting with my needs? So those, that's like a successful campaign. I mean, I do have a shout out from my marketing head on my LinkedIn for that I turned around their paid revenue strategies in just 2-3 months of time. I worked there only for 6 months because then my visa came and I had to move here. But I turned around their entire paid strategies in just 2 to 3 months, which I feel is a good achievement for my career, because otherwise paid ads takes
Absolutely.
time to optimize. So that.
Yeah. I love that story. That's fantastic. And that's pretty fast for such success. Well, kudos to you, Ashna. That's amazing. Well, tell people how they can work with you. I'm going to put your website up. How can people work with you? And what are some of the programs that you are running right
So
now?
right now I'm offering a live training program on the weekends for Facebook and Google ads. You're on the screen, you can see where you can register for my paid programs. And right now I'm just offering the entire training for $47. That's my launch offer. You are getting live training, live access to me. You can, it's completely live. There's nothing recorded. Prices, of course, go high to the next batch. We are having a batch coming up in December, on 3rd and 4th December. That's on the weekend. I'll be conducting this batch. And if you want to work with me, like if you want me to run your ads, you can reach out to me on one of my social profiles. I'm active on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, anywhere.
That's fantastic. And we'll make
But
sure
I
all your
would,
contact information.
prefer everybody goes through a training program, or like do a self learning on YouTube if you're a business owner. I'm not asking you to do your own ads all the time. That's not possible, because people have a lot of hats as an entrepreneur. But you should be knowing the basics at least. You should be
Right.
knowing what people are doing with your ads. So if not a technical ads person, you should at least have like a beginner level of understanding when you even give out your ads to somebody else.
Yes, no, that's absolutely right. Correct. Ashna, you've been fantastic. I loved all the great information. It was wonderful having you on.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's it. We're wrapping up this episode. Let me just tell you that Ashna has some fantastic content. Please go over to her webpage, check her out, reach out to her with any questions you might have. If you're catching this on Facebook or YouTube, on the replay, hashtag replay, and Ashna and I will be sure to connect with you. So make sure you hit subscribe for those of you listening on the podcast. Check out our next episode. And with that, I'm wrapping up by sending you lots of positive energy and light.